Bike lane infrastructure in the city of Toronto is expanding, and how those who cycle interact with those taking the heel toe express is top of mind, including for those at City Hall. Now we're down here tonight on Queens Quay. This is one of the newer bike lanes, bike trails to open up in the city, and some of the confusion down here, for example, is this bike signage in blue. It says stop here on red. Now the red that they're looking for is way up ahead at that red cycle light. You can see actually cyclists have stopped way up there instead of back here. That's about 2.5 intersections away, and today the city announcing that they're looking at new guidelines to help keep both pedestrians and those with disabilities safe.
As we adapt and we expand our network of cycle tracks, it's crucial to have the corresponding signage and signals to go with it.
The guidelines being proposed by city staff at today's infrastructure committee include clear signage for cyclists to yield to pedestrians in transit zones and at all crossings, clearly marked stop lines at crosswalks, as well as eye-level bike signals like these found on Queens Quay.
We want to make sure that, just like motorists, the cyclists obey the rules of the road, that they stop where they're required to, either by the Highway Traffic Act or other bylaws.
It appears some of the signage is either confusing or being completely ignored. Today we witnessed this cyclist riding the wrong way in a bike lane through a red light on Adelaide. Down on Queens Quay, these pedestrians sauntered through a green light for cyclists without even looking to see if a bike was coming down the path. Suffice it to say, there's room for improvement.
It gets hairy, yes, especially that the bikers, they don't notice the sign, the blue sign, you know, it's very big font,
that
right?
says stop.
They don't notice it, they just keep going. Sometimes they stop because of the traffic, but they don't really stop because of the traffic sign.
I think we're all just getting used to sharing the road because these bike lanes are relatively new. So I kind of find the last year the behavior of cyclists at least have become better in terms of sharing space, but it's really, I think, about everyone just getting used to working together because this is fairly new in Toronto.
The report includes concern around pedestrian-cyclist mixing zones and highlights Toronto's newly designed waterfront as a problem spot. Author of the Urban Cyclist Survival Guide, Yvonne Bambrick, says the report must reimagine a way for everyone to walk and ride together safely.
And the review and adaptation of these guidelines around accessibility issues are intended to help mitigate and reduce the likelihood of people having negative interactions in those spaces. We all have to share, we have to, ride and walk accordingly and pay attention to our surroundings in a busy city.
Now, today's report was sent back to city staff for more tweaking. It will then go back to committee and hopefully then to council before the end of the year.